Hello everyone and welcome back to Sendik's Weather channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the ecmwf 6-week look ahead, which will take us into November. From the outset, we have just come out of a pretty chilly spell. At the moment as I'm doing this, my weather station is saying it's 6.4 degrees on Sunday evening, and it's been a pretty chilly last few days really. However, temperatures are about to massively increase as winds do come up from the southwest. As well as low pressure, so unsettled conditions for the next few days, but getting warmer, about 4 to 5 degrees above average, and temperatures could reach 18, 19 or even 20 degrees in the south. But what does the next 6 weeks look ahead look like? Well, let's go and have a look. So to start with, this is the 14th to the 21st of October. This is the 7-day period, and as you can see, low pressure is centered between Iceland, Greenland, and the UK, just to our west. High pressure's far to our east, and winds, well, we're bringing winds from like a westerly direction, but it's very unsettled. As you can see, temperature anomalies are above average, and precipitation is also way above average, especially for the southwest and the Bristol area, possibly going onto the south coast as well. Week 2 will be the 21st to 28th, and there's a bit of a change. High pressure is centred just to the south of the UK, in the North Atlantic. Low pressure is to our north, bringing in quite a westerly pattern really. Could be northwesterly tilt if the high pressure was further north, but there it just looks quite zonal westerly patterns. Could be some low pressures affecting particularly northern Scotland, but it could be quite settled. Temperature anomalies are, well, they're cooling down, but they are slightly above average. 1 to 2 degrees above average, I'd say. And precipitation is drier than average under that high pressure. It's just centred to our west. It is drier than average. Week 3 will be the 28th to the 4th of November, and this looks slightly more interesting if you like cold. High pressure centred just to the west, and from that we could be bringing in the wind from a northwesterly direction around the high. However, it will be very dry as the high is centred just to our west. Temperature anomalies are going slightly below average, particularly so for France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Western Europe, Western Southern Europe is going below average, and also towards the Balkans, the Russia area, border Russia. But obviously Scandinavia is warmer than average, with this high extending through the Atlantic towards Scandinavia, but it's very weak. We are in the centre of it. Precipitation would expect to be drier, and it is drier, so end of October could be slightly cooler than average, but very dry again, according to, if this is right. Obviously it's speculative. Week 4, the 4th to the 11th of November, very weak signal. There's some high pressure towards Greenland, but apart from that, we can't really make any speculative remarks. Temperature anomalies are no signal or around average, just cooler than average to our north. And warmer than average in the Atlantic, so maybe there could be a mid-Atlantic ridge going up towards Greenland, which could allow that wind to come in, but from that, it's anyone's guess. Precipitation, very weak signal again, like what I hinted at. Maybe there's some high pressure towards Greenland, slightly wetter than average to our south in France, slightly wetter down here as well, and Scandinavia, but overall, bit of an unknown pattern there. Obviously, we're getting a bit far out now. Week 5 is the 11th to the 18th of November, and again, high pressure centred towards Greenland, so maybe this is an encouraging sign for a cooler or even colder month, but obviously it's very tentative signs, it's very unknown, and very weak signals. Obviously, we can't really take anything away from this, because there is nothing to look at. There is no lower high pressure besides this high towards Spain, and this low towards the eastern side of Scandinavia. Temperature anomalies probably will be around average, yeah. Again, warmer than average in the Atlantic could indicate high pressure, and obviously that's very encouraging if you want colder conditions. It is drier than average to our north. Very weak signals again, just to our east and southeast, and south as well. Could be some low pressure through here, and we'll have to wait and see. And finally, Week 6 is the 18th to the 25th of November. Well, there's some high pressure towards Greenland. Again, that's a very strong signal. Negative NAO is signalled here from the ECM. Could be good if you want colder interludes. However, there's this high just to our south, through France, Spain, Portugal, through Africa actually, which could bring the wind up from a milder westerly or southwesterly direction. Mild again, looking dry. Sea temperature anomalies just to our north are actually below average, but it's so far out it doesn't really matter. Then as you can see, if the winds are from the southwest, it will be milder than average. And this takes us just before the week before December, the winter. Well, actually, the ECM is showing a very weak signal for wetter than average conditions in the north of the UK for Scotland. So maybe they could be under the influence of a northeasterly, and the south could be under the influence of a westerly. So that could be quite interesting. But anyway, it's all speculative. We'll see what happens. But my prediction for November, from the data, from the anomalies, and I will be bringing them to you in the next few days, is that I think that November will be a slightly cooler, or maybe even colder than average month. Possibility of a cold spell towards the end of the month. Could be some snowy interludes as well, especially for Scotland, but I reckon there is chances for central and northern England, especially over mountains, of course. But I reckon that November will be 0.5 degree to 1 degree below average. Tentative signs, probably got it wrong, but it's all for fun, isn't it? Cheers all for watching. Make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed the content and found it informative, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye everyone.